and I was intimidated. It was so big. It was so much stuff to do.
Yeah, like after they said 100 hours, I was like, I don't have time for this.
But then go ahead.
I don't like, sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't even like fantasy games, but I played through it 3 times. So
wow. That's saying something.
There was something special about that game. I still can't exactly put my finger on it, but it kept bringing me back.
The story writing is very nice in the game. The quests, like some side missions are better than some full-length games I played.
That says a lot. And so this is why I have full confidence in the ability for that team to be able to kind of shape up Cyberpunk into a really good state for the platforms they're targeting. But yeah, right now they're going to have to take their lumps and bumps.
They're gonna have to catch those L's in the bag, to be honest with you.
Right. Unfortunately.
People will come back though, and just like with The Witcher, you're not even going to hear anything.
Yeah.
I have a lot of empathy for them, considering my franchise is known for being buggy, and I feel for them because such a huge launch, everybody's expecting them to be perfect, and no game is, especially when they delayed only, what was it, 3 months? I think they delayed it.
Yep.
And I was pretty sure that wasn't going to be enough. That's almost, if you have to delay a huge release like that, you might as well go 6 months, or it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that they were basically between a rock and a hard place, where like they had to do it, because wouldn't you just automatically, take 6 months if you could?
It all depends on what CDPR, their parent company, set for their year-to-date profit targets and things like it's completely out of the hands of the people who are deciding whether the game is ready to go at that point.
Yeah, that's what we kind of spoke to. I think it was last week or the week before, was that, once they became a publicly traded company, it was just you stuck,
Yeah, you have to perform, and most people don't know what it's like to try and develop a good game. But I mean, they subscribe to the one criteria of game success that all successful games share, and that they shipped, so they can say that they shipped the game. Hopefully, people will stick around and let them improve it.
Yeah. I know for me personally, like, I'm enjoying the game, but I'm also playing on the Series X, so I mean it's pretty stable as far as frame rate, and graphic fidelity is nice. I mean, of course I've ran across some bugs like everybody else, but my core experience has been engaging and fun, and I'm enjoying the side quests and things like that. So,
well, I'm excited because I have it on my Series X. I haven't started it yet because I've got so many other games that I'm like 15 to 25% done with. And I really, really want to finish some of those before I start Cyberpunk. But I also wanted to give them time to patch it up a few times as well.
So I think that's Lady with the background music, right?
Alexa off.
Always. She sent me that playlist.
Right?
I sent it to y'all, did I?
No.
Oh, I'll send you the band name. It's called Caribbean. They spell it funny, but
I was like I can spell that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just DM it to us so we at least have it.
Nice slow music while I'm, maybe cooking dinner or something.
think everybody sounds pretty good. I'm gonna run through one more sound check so I can make sure that everyone's coming through. So go ahead, Brant.
Check 1 2. Hello.
Awesome. LBOOGIE.
Yep. Can
Lady.
you hear me?
Yep.
Right here.
All right, CHAREECE.
What's up?
Okay, we got 3 minutes. So whenever you're ready, lady, just tell me, and I'll go ahead and just hit and let us go live. So whenever you.
All right. I'm always nervous. I'm nervous. Give me a minute.
Okay. Always.
Oh well, Boogie. Since I started my start for game over, I am leveling like I'm supposed to now.
Oh, great. That's so weird that it did that, but good that you thought to just do it since you weren't too far. I know for me personally, I like stopped doing the main mission totally, and I've only been doing side missions.
I'm doing side missions, man, and
It's so much story, right? Just in the side missions.
the mantis arms, the legendary mantis arms. Oh my god!
Wait.
Okay,
Remember, Brant hasn't played it, so no spoilers.
Oh,
I know it's
I
good.
didn't know that.
I will send him the link to go get him his mantis arms real quick, and when he
Right.
ready. You want to know where some armor at?
Because I've been a fan of Assassin's Creed since the first one, and I was a little afraid of how they changed up the combat system in Origins, but then I absolutely grew to love it.
I haven't played any. The last Assassin's Creed I played was Black Flag.
I mean, if that's the last one you ever play, it was a good one because
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
that was such a wonderful
experience. Yes.
Yeah.
It
Now,
was
do you feel like? Sorry,
No, go ahead, LBOOGIE.
I was gonna say now. Do you feel like you get some of that vibe from Valhalla? Because I know I definitely do.
A little bit, but the part that I enjoyed about Black Flag more than I thought I ever would was just being a pirate and being on the sea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because so much of the Assassin's Creed thing is not available to you when you're out in the middle of the ocean. You know, the parkour everywhere and stuff like that. But boy, did I love it.
Okay. Here's a little more serious question. What do you think companies could do to retain diversity?
All right. So just to frame this up, this is coming from a 50-year-old white guy. Okay. What the industry has needed to do for a very long time is not only hire people of color, but empower them, and that's where I think the interrupt has been, especially in my industry, is companies will try to fill out the percentages, right, to make themselves feel good about diversity in their workplace, but then you still hear the same voices at the end of the day. What the video game industry needs to do better at, but we are improving, is really giving empowering the voices that we do bring into our company. One of the things that I'm super proud of Undead Labs for doing is really taking a hard look at our hiring practices and then backing it up. Like, we just hired Novera King as our narrative director for State of Decay 3, and we are super excited, and I'm over the moon about this because I'm a huge fan of hers. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. She's pretty active in like at E3. She actually does quite or not E3, but I'm sorry, the PAXs and things like that. She does a lot of panels and things about women in gaming and women of color in gaming specifically. But we were so lucky to get her, and I can't wait to see the stories we tell, because we've empowered somebody who tells different stories than 50-year-old white guys.
Okay. How important is players' input in the State of Decay series?
Well, so my position was finally, after many years, given a title, and it is IP steward, but also fan advocate. What that means is that our fans are the most important thing as far as how we feel the game's health is. Because of Game Pass, we no longer have to worry about hitting like physical copy numbers anymore. What we need to do is keep people happy. And so, now more than ever, but it's always been important to us because State of Decay wouldn't be here. Like Undead Labs would not be in existence had it not been for the fan love. It was absolutely a groundswell, word of mouth success story. So I personally have always had a huge connection with fans. And actually the thing I love most is going to conventions and just or sitting with people like you and just talking about what we're passionate about.
Understandable. I understand.
Yeah, I think. Sorry.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's always surprising to me how some companies will dive totally into that and really make it high importance on the community engagement, and then how others for certain games it's just like, we hear you but we're not listening, and I feel like especially with your franchise, that you guys really take to heart what people say, and I mean act on it almost immediately. When people are saying they want changes, like the harder difficulty and things like that, you guys do it. So I have to commend you guys on that.
Well, and we're really lucky that we started out small but scrappy, and we had a really strong community, but it was also a self-policing community, so we didn't have to spend most of our time dealing with trolls or problem people. We had a very great sort of self-policing community that would also grow itself organically. So we ended up with a really strong connection with our community. One, because it was super small. I used to be able to basically know everyone who would interact with us by name, right? But then they kind of just became de facto ambassadors for us. And it just grew from there. Our community is still an incredibly positive place to be, considering how many people have played our game now. I mean, we're at millions and millions of people who have played State of Decay 2 at this point. Of course, not all of them are still playing, and of course, not all of them are interacting on our forums and things like that. But it's still one of the least toxic places that I can find in the gaming internet, really. And we're so lucky for that.
All right. We appreciate that too, because with certain games, the toxicity levels are high. Especially for example, I play Call of Duty. So I completely understand, and I think consumers and players will appreciate that as well. How did you start at Undead Labs?
Well, let's see. I was working at a company called ArenaNet that made the game Guild Wars years ago. and that was a company that was started by Jeff Strain, who subsequently started Undead Labs. Two friends of mine, Doug Williams, who is the art director for the studio, for Undead Lab Studio, and then another person who was working at ArenaNet named Trevor Howell, who decided not to come to the studio after we pitched the game. But we used to sit around, we'd get together once a month and watch a zombie movie, drink beer, talk about it, because we all loved the genre. And we found that we would spend as much time talking about what we would have done differently in that set of whatever movie's set of circumstances we had just watched. We'd spend as much time talking about it as we did watching it. And so eventually we were like, well, we make games anyways. Let's see if we can, put one together for this. And this was 2005 when we started talking about it. And then we pitched, we got together a lot more and started to get serious about it. And we pitched the idea to the heads of ArenaNet. There was 3 of them at the time in 2006. And they were knee deep in Guild Wars, and there was no way they could spin up another project. But Jeff Strain took us aside afterwards and said, I really love the idea. We just can't do it now. And so then it was at that point that I protected the IP, and I left ArenaNet probably 2 years after that. And then subsequently Jeff Strain left ArenaNet and NCSoft, and he and I had a beer the day he quit, and he'd kind of been through the corporate ringer at that point, and he said, I'm done with games. I'm just gonna do personal technology project, whatever people with a lot of money can afford to do. And I said, that's bullshit. You're gonna start a game company within 9 months because you're gonna get bored. But I was completely wrong. He started it 9 months later and gave me a call, and I quit my job that day. And he told me not to quit that day because he was self-funding the startup. So I was working for Warner Brothers at the time, but I had already told them that this was a possibility. So I just waited until he said we had an office, and then I went down to work for him. And eventually Doug Williams came over from ArenaNet. And we had a really tight group of people who knew each other very well. At the time, we made the first game. We shipped the first game with a total of 22 people in the studio. And I don't know if you guys remember the first one, but it was rough. But
you mean the first State of Decay?
Yeah, the Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah, I played it. It was good. It was a little rough.
But people figured out what they saw, the little soul in the game that we had put in there that was different than anything else that was on consoles, especially. And thankfully, the response was good enough that we were able to continually improve that with like the year one special edition, and then Microsoft was enthusiastic about getting 2 off the ground. And when 2 came out, it was rough too. But 2 years later, we're seeing more people playing than ever, and we've made several major releases, and we've got 12 bounty monthly things that go out every year. We have 12 packs that go out. It's been a great privilege to work on this, especially with the support that Microsoft has given us. State of Decay 2 is now 2 years after its release, a really solid, fun game to play, with a lot of options for different people with different capabilities.
That is Awesome. I played it earlier this week, and the memory starts to flow back in, and I cannot wait for the next installment. What would you say is the biggest difference between State of Decay 1 and 2?
I mean, besides the obvious, capability upgrade that the new hardware has given us over the years, the sort of the philosophical difference is the original State of Decay was, what would you do to survive the next day or the next couple of days? It was sort of that immediate, right at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. You're frantically striving to make it the next day or the next hour. State of Decay 2 has a larger focus on starting to build the community, so you can start answering the question, how would I survive for the next month, the next couple months? I'm going to need people around. I'm going to need people with skills that I don't have. And you start, and it's about starting that building that community that you're going to need to support the whole group to survive this thing. So we have a much larger emphasis on base building and finding people with the right skill sets to support your group.
Ooh, I feel that. Okay. What would you say to people looking to get in the gaming industry?
Okay, so originally, for the first 15 years of my career, the answer to that would have been get into quality assurance, get a QA job, a game testing job, and that's your way in. But that's unfair to people who are in quality assurance. It's just as vital, if not more vital, to have really great testers, people who are really good professional testers. It might be more important to have them than anybody else in your company. So my answer now would be to, I can't really recommend the schools that are advertising that they'll give you a degree in game design and stuff like that, because there's only a couple schools that I'm familiar with that we've actually hired out of.
May I ask what those schools are?
We have a couple people from Full Sail, and then there's a school called it's in Redmond, and I've completely lost it right now.
It's okay.
Yes, sorry. Digipen. Digipen in Redmond hired a lot of people, not necessarily at Undead Labs, but in my career, I've had a couple companies. They have a really good program there. It's also very expensive. Now we're seeing a lot of people with engines like the Unreal Development Kit and Unity and things like that. People can learn to make their own games. And when I go to conventions like PAX, the only place I will be if I'm not working, our booth is the indie games area, because the most amazing innovations in gameplay come from people who sat down and figured out how to make it the best they could. And these games often aren't gorgeous, they're not beautiful, they're not perfect, but the experiences you get and sort of the new angles of seeing even what the definition of a game can be, that's where you're going to find it. So there are ways for people to teach themselves, and there's a lot of YouTube has hundreds of hours of tutorials on how to make things happen in these different engines, so people can actually train themselves.
Oh, okay. Yes, I have been learning how to edit during this time of the coronavirus. So yes, I've been self-teaching. I've been self-teaching myself how to edit. Is the engine for State of Decay 1 and 2 the same or different? Because I'm new to that. I don't know. I just started learning about game engines this year. So what kind of engine do you use?
So State of Decay, the original State of Decay was developed on the CryEngine 3,
okay,
which is no longer even a thing.
It's not even a thing. Oh.
No, Amazon ended up buying the structure of the engine, and I think they created something. They tried to create a game engine, something logger. I can't remember what it was called. Mm-hmm. And then when in the time before from CryEngine, because it was dying at that point, so we needed to find a new engine. So we picked one that subsequently went under, and then we ended up at Unreal. We went with Unreal 4, and so one of the reasons why SOD2 was a little light on features was because of that engine switch. Because anytime you do that, you lose whatever code work you've done, and you have to start over. And it's in a new architecture, and it's a pain in the butt, and everybody needs to retrain on, how their workflows go. So it was a mad scramble for us at the lab once we realized that we had to switch engines in the middle of production.
Wow. So you're saying that the first State of Decay used Lumberyard? And then, which is based off the CryEngine, and then so Decay 2 is it homebrew? Is it something that you all created internally, or? Okay.
So, we were actually the first State of Decay was actually on CryEngine 3. It hadn't been bought by Amazon yet, but it was right at the end of its lifespan. And then and State of Decay 2. Was developed in Unreal.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, well, I know we probably can't ask this, but do you know what engine State of Decay 3 is going to have?
I cannot answer anything about State of Decay 3 other than I'm really excited about the possibilities.
I tried.
That's a perfect answer.
It's a community question, so I tried.
Okay. All right. A little more lightweight. My final question, Mr. Fitzgerald. Your top 5 games / franchises.
This is really tough. I've been thinking about this maybe the most, because I've seriously been around for about 1.5 million years. I am a creaky old dinosaur. So I love my game. I love State of Decay, but I'm going to throw that out because that's kind of a cheeseball answer. I've very much enjoyed the run of the Assassin's Creed franchises for the most part. I really, and then Rock Band / Guitar Hero took a lot of my years.
Yes.
I was not musically inclined growing up, and so there was no other way that I could jump in front of a crowd of 40,000 people and play Judas Priest like in my wildest dreams until Guitar Hero came out. Let's see. As I said, franchises, I don't know. The Witcher, I didn't play the other 2, but Witcher 3 was so good that I played it 3 times. So maybe that's worth a nod. And then I really love Devolver's Enter the Gungeon. It's a little roguelike shooter. That one I always go back to it. And I love pinball. I'll play any pinball game that's ever made.
Oh, That's an awesome top 5. Well, I guess that's all my questions. Is there anything you want to like before you leave or anything? Would you like to like have your shout outs ready or your promos?
No, I mean, I just really appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you. It's always a pleasure to especially to get to talk to someone after I've met them a couple of years ago, such as yourself. It's been great to see that you've been hustling and getting this thing, keeping your interest in content creation in games going. So congratulations to you and your crew here for kicking butt.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get my foot in the door, but I like to go on my own. Like I gotta be like not like legit myself. I can't have it any other way. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and I cannot wait what you guys are going to bring to the table on the next installment of State of Decay.
Yeah, either can I. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big for us. So we're super excited. But I have to mention that because of Microsoft's wonderful support of State of Decay 2, we have plans for that for years. So State of Decay 2 is going to be around for a while. We're going to continue to improve it as well.
That's great. I mean, that's saying a lot that, you're going to come out with another game and you're still going to keep support for the last one.
Yeah, and it's on Game Pass, so anybody can try it. So we're
Game Pass for the win.
Everybody knows Game Pass for the win.
Oh yeah, it's the way of the future.
I honestly believe that is the way. It is the way. Let's just say it like that.
It is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Well, and thank you for having me. And it's a pleasure to meet you all. And Lady Infamous, great to talk to you again.
Likewise, my guy. Thank you.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see each other at conventions or some other industry happening soon.
I agree as well. I cannot wait.
All right. Good luck to you all then.
Okay.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you again.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. I'm going to give a shout out to the chat. Philly Eagle.
Is he still here? Because I want to fangirl real quick.
I don't know. I just
Brant
okay.
Okay.
You said something.
Right here. Why'd you fangirl out while he was here?
No, I can't fangirl while he's there. Then I look like a goofy person. So I'm a fangirl when he's gone.
Well, you better tell him how fangirly you is right now when you could have had a chance to say something to the man. All right, let me give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Through our technical difficulties, y'all still here. Y'all kept it active. I really, really, really appreciate it. We got Calvin in the building. We got 5-star. We got Moo. What it do? Iron Mike in the building. We got Jazzy Noop, Mod Squad, Billy Eagle. I see you. Sinister Tar Heel. Let me see who else. With Abacab. I see that you finally got your Xbox. Congratulations. And let me see who else we got. Rain G4, what it do? I see you. Stitch, I don't know what smoke you talking about. I saw it, but you're gonna have to DM me talking about smoke. Coming here on the chat, talking about you gonna give me some smoke. All right. Now, I want to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 and how in 7 days, that game became from the most hyped game to the quickest refund on planet Earth. Let's start, and we all played it. So let's start off with Delilah. Okay, let's start with CHAREECE.
I don't even know how to start with Cyberpunk. I think out of the four of us, I think I was the one who was having the most difficulties with it. With the graphics, and I had some minor glitches, not nothing major, just like people popping in and out, which is like really when you're walking down the street and somebody just pops up in front of you. That shit's funny. Cars just like being in the wrong place. It's just like nothing major, because again, I've played Assassin's Creed way too many times. I've played Skyrim way too many times, so that was fine. I'm used to that. The stuff that really got me, like I was telling the ladies earlier, was I stopped leveling up. That was my main glitch. Like I was stuck at like level 8.
Yes, I can hear you, Delilah.
Okay, so my apologies. It's like I'm having some issues as far as audio and whatnot. So you're just asking me about Cyberpunk 2077?
Oh yeah, but you didn't say nothing, so I had asked CHAREECE first. You can go after CHAREECE when she's finished.
Okay, it's fine. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
But yeah, so I was stuck at a certain level, and so I had to actually restart my game. I wasn't that far, so don't think that I wasted like 10 something hours, which I was probably at pushing 8. But I've caught back up to where I basically was, and so now it's playing much better. All that other mess that is going on, like I feel for people who had a regular Xbox and PlayStation 4 playing this game. You basically were promised this game was going to work on your systems, and they lied to you. And honestly, to a certain extent, you have to blame CD Projekt Red and all that, but I don't know. I feel like the media kind of went into this also because nobody mentioned how bad these bugs were. I guess because they was all playing on PC.
But I thought it was that they couldn't. Like, they weren't allowed to say anything.
They weren't allowed to show video. And they were not. They weren't allowed to show their own video of it. So if they just mentioned, oh yeah, I had a few glitches here and there, but they wasn't able to like show it, none. I don't think any of them went into much detail about it. But I'm like, and then you all gave this like 9s. I'm like, I can't. So that's like, I think all those reviews should be like redone now.
Okay, what about you, Delilah? Can you hear me? Delilah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
About me, as far as Cyberpunk, like, are you just asking my general thoughts about it?
Yeah, because the 7 day, it took a week. It took a week to be sugar to shit.
See, the thing is, like, I mean, I know I mentioned this a little bit before we got on live, but my experience has been different because of the fact that I'm playing it on one of the newer platforms, you know? So I haven't had as many issues as most people have been reporting. And so my experience has been overall positive. I mean, I'm loving all the side quests. I'm loving the main mission. Loving getting gear for my character. I like V, you know, the back and forth conversations it's had between the NPCs and V. So, I mean, yeah. But I mean, of course, you know, I'm hearing about these same issues. And so the only thing at this point, we can just hope that they iron those things out in the next few months. And then, you know, I still think that, you know, CD Projekt Red is a capable company, and they're going to be able to kind of bounce back from all of this. So,
okay, what about you, LBOOGIE?
I'm really enjoying the game, especially since I tweaked some of the settings, which I wish they would have said, right? Like, I hate that we have to like really search for like the best settings here, but I changed from performance to quality. That seems to like really made a difference, and also adjusted some of my HDR settings. And I mean, the game looks fabulous now, and I haven't really had too many glitches. I've probably had some of the least, I think, out of the 4 of us. And then just the story. I mean, there's so much story there. Like, I feel bad that this is happening, although I think, you know, they made their bed here. But the game, you know, fundamentally is a great game. I hate that people keep comparing it to Anthem, because Anthem was a totally different issue. Not only did it have glitches, but it didn't have substance either. This game has a ton of substance. I mean, I have yet to play any more main missions, and I am getting so much story. It's crazy. Like, yeah, so I totally think that they'll bounce back, but you know, like we said before, they're going to have to take these L's and they need to make it right. They need to let people know that they're going to make it right. Because anyone who was told that they could play this game on last gen should be made whole, period. But the game is great. I mean, if you have a Series X, I hear the Series X is the best place to play it. So if you have one, enjoy.
Okay, for me, I got almost 20 hours in the game, and I enjoy. It is the world. It is Night City. It is the shops in the cuts of the buildings. It is the dialogue with merchants. It is the afterlife. You know what I'm saying? It's the quirky little things that you find, you know, in that world that I can play, and I can play for an hour and I wouldn't even thought about it, you know. So I'm sitting here, you know, doing these 2 or 3 hours sessions playing Cyberpunk, just doing everything. In the beginning, it's like, okay, I was doing too much too fast. So I slowed down a bit. It's way much better. I know I'm going to be doing multiple playthroughs because by the time the next gen update comes out by Cyberpunk, it should be on point. It should be on point. As far as PlayStation not taking it out of the store, period. Not just PlayStation 4 store, period. I believe that as much as I love this game, that CD Projekt Red was a little misleading, because they should have not promoted this game on last gen, and they should have polished it up better for current gen, like right now gen, PS5, Series X gen. So I think it's misleading, because usually with games like, okay, Watch Dogs, Valhalla, those, for example, they gave out review copies. Am I right?
Yes.
So, what made CZ Projekt Red that ballsy not to give out review copies, knowing that's like practice with a brand new IP game? To me, they knew that their game wasn't up to par, and when the game came out, y'all don't blame Xbox, don't blame PlayStation for this type of game, because I know that they're using the best equipment that they could possibly can, so we can be able to play these games better. And they gave us this. I'm playing this game, I'll see a body melting in the wall, or I'll see Pam looking gorgeous, but I go see another character in the game and looking like not consistently. So I'm if the world wasn't popping, if the people wasn't popping, if the storyline wasn't popping, I would have had got my refund. And I know they're gonna lose money. They losing money, but they could have prevented this. They could have delayed it another few months. I would have been cool with that. They could have scrapped out last gen and focuses on current gen. They could have did that. They could have gave influencers or reviewers or media people a review copy, get them an NDA, and give them feedback.
That's what they did, though.
Yeah, they made them. They limited, like, you can only play it on this with these certain settings. It's weird. I don't know. They knew it was bad and they hid it.
That's exactly what it is.
But don't you think if they had canceled, what if they had actually canceled last gen's? Like, we can't do that. We can't do PS4 and Xbox One. What if
they should have been honest?
But do you think the backlash would have been worse for now or the same if they canceled those versions of the game?
I wonder what if it was even possible for them to say, hey, we're gonna put out this for next gen, And then also, like we said before, these are the best settings on this console and that console, and then PC, and then we're gonna have to push the delivery of last gen back. How do you think people would respond to that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't hear that last part.
So basically, if they said we're gonna go with basically current gen now, release that now, these are the settings you should be playing on, and then say, we're going to push the release of last gen back, 3 or 4 more months. How do you think people would have responded to that?
I think they should have just scrapped last gen.
They can't do that though. Like, you're talking about a publicly traded company that has already said they're going to deliver a product and then not delivering.
I think the backlash would have been just as much as it was now, especially since the new consoles are hard to get and hard to find, and people are going through financial troubles and literally can't afford to get the consoles. I think that the backlash would have been just as bad. Like, it's either like you're between a rock and a hard place. They had to do something.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I feel like we're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah.
So it's really, what surprises me is that people were dogging the graphical, how it looks in the game, but the problems with that game, it overshadowed what really was good about the game. And to me, that was the world. And I hate to see it. Like I said yesterday, I hope they got a good little redemption tale coming up with this game, because I would love to see it. I'm gonna play it today. So, glitches and all. So that's how I feel. Anybody else want to talk about Cyberpunk and how PlayStation removed them from the store? Because when I never seen that.
Yeah, that was a first.
I never seen that. I
thought it was joking when I first saw it on Twitter. I thought it was a joke.
It was not a joke.
I can't remember, like, and the reason I think they did it, Sony, because they didn't want to pay give people back their money, but still, that's beside the point. But the fact that you actually removed it from the store, like, what about all the other even Unity at its worst was a horrible game. Hey, like, you can see the inside of people's faces, and it was just like eyeballs and a mouth and lips and whatever. But they never refunded people money like this. They never took it off the store. It's just like, they even put out a little email like, hey, even if for physical copies, if you want to, if the physical store won't give you a refund, send us your proof of purchase, and we'll work with you. Like, even physical copies, they're trying to give out refunds. But do you think
that's because they automatically assume that Ubisoft is going to have glitches? You know what I mean? Like, do we now already kind of have that hand in hand? Ubisoft equals glitches, and then maybe for CD Projekt Red, it was like, this game was supposed to come out super polished, which is hilarious because we've already said, like, Witcher 3 was not polished. But everybody forgets that. So that's why I'm thinking, a couple months down the line, people are gonna fucking forget this.
Okay, because we're not even commenting on the fact how Legion shut off my system, my original. My series.
After you said that, I stopped playing it. Like, I still haven't started playing it again since then.
I still have not. It's been updated twice since then. I still haven't picked back up. It shut down my system, people, and that's a polished game by today's terms. But yeah, I think so, because when I play like Elder Scrolls, I expect glitches, like, automatically. I expect people not to be where they're supposed to be, or some shit not to act right. That's just open world games are gonna have glitches. I guess with Cyberpunk, because the Witcher 3, everybody who played Witcher 3 came in at the tail end of it when it was all patched up and like basically the bee's knees. It was perfect. So I guess they don't realize just how bad it was at the beginning. So
yeah, right. Because I think most people didn't even start to play Witcher until it started to hit that stride of, we've cleared up a lot of these glitches, and now people are like, this game is hot, right? So, and to be honest, like, it's even more funny that, you know, people started giving CD Projekt Red this like, I don't know, I don't really want to say a pass, but like, you know, this stamp of approval as if they have launched title after title that has been, you know, fantabulous, which they haven't. So it's like, why did we give them such a card if they hadn't deserved that yet, you know?
Oh my god, like I was lurking in a comment feed yesterday. Somebody was like how CD Projekt Red is a better studio than say BioWare because Witcher 3 was such a perfect game. But I'm like, BioWare track record is like so much better. Like
Empire, like they really don't have that. Like we gave them brand loyalty of a company that has given us, you know, 4 or 5, I mean, hell, even 3 titles, you know, that have been, you know, fabulous, but they haven't. So it's like, kind of, how much of this is on the consumer and how much of this is on CD Projekt Red? I think there's definitely some shared responsibility here.
Shit again at the media, all these perfect games, 9.10, 10, 10, 10, 9, 9.5,
right?
9. And oh my god, one person who gave it a 7 got attacked online. The one person, mind you, now 7 is still a good game. It's still, that's still good. They attacked her for not giving it a perfect score.
I remember like that first day, people, as soon as they could tell the truth, they started telling the truth, right? And people were already like, what are you talking about? Da, 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 da. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. I would like one more tidbit. I got one more tidbit, and then you can put in your questions and questions in big letters, and then next to it your questions, so our ladies can be able to grab them. Twitch had a town hall meeting. And why are you laughing?
No reason.
What you mean, no reason?
Oh my! I don't know. Maybe because I'm still learning about Twitch.
You still learning about Twitch? Okay.
Yes, I'm still learning about Twitch.
Well, let me enlighten you a little bit about what happened this week. So, they had a town meeting, and as you guys know, they're changing. They're doing a policy overhaul for harassment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, they banned 2 words, right? They banned 2 words. They banned the word incel and virgin as insults, right? I think that there are harsher words out here in these streets that needed to be banned. And I want your ladies' opinion on that, if you can. How you feel about this sexual harassment policy? How you feel about these version? I forgot the word version. How you guys feel about this?
Those were the only 2 new words, right?
No, they banned simp also.
Yeah,
simp,
I thought, right?
virgin, and
but they still allow people to call people, which I hate even saying this, but they still allow people to call people retards. They still allow people to call people niggers. Like I don't get that. Like how are those not? Yeah, right.
Cracker,
right.
Shit like that.
Why are those not banned?
Wait.
Why are those not banned?
Because those words offend white males.
Or they do not offend, is I guess what you're trying to say. Yeah.
No, that's no.
But I don't know. Yeah. Like I feel like Twitch needs to recognize that they are laying the groundwork for a breeding ground for these type of people to have a haven. Like you can't say that you care about the community when you're unwilling to lose traction or, you know, views and allowing those type of people to have somewhere to be. Because if you really look for it, you will find Twitch channels that are solely about hate, that are solely about bigotry, and they are allowed to be on the platform.
All right. Delilah, are you there? No, I think she's working now. Oh, okay. What you feel about this town hall meeting? If you have anything to say on it.
I mean, obviously, I'm just as disappointed as you all in some of the decisions that was made, because I mean, you all brought up some valid points on this. I just, at this point, my hope for change is dwindled by the day, because we always see these things never kind of go in our favor, if you will. Like, I mean, it just feels one-sided, and it's that, asking for change seems like a moot point. It's kind of sucky, but we've been dealing with this stuff for years. As being females that play games, that you get in a chat that you've never been in before, and things that you hear. And I still feel like it's always going to be an uphill battle and a constant struggle to kind of clean this stuff up, and hopefully we just continue to make enough noise about it, just like we have in the past, that these companies will make adjustments. And so yeah, it's unfortunate.
All right then. All right. Cool beans. Any other tidbits y'all ladies want to talk about? Did anybody see The Mandalorian? Because I'm caught up.
I'm not caught up.
I still need to watch the last episode. So
man, anyway,
to tell everybody what happened.
Yeah.
Right. I've been ducking and dodging on Twitter. Like, as soon as I see anything that says Mandalorian, I'm like, hurry up, scroll. But like I told you, my dad came in late last night, so I haven't been able to watch anything yet.
Oh, tell Boogie Daddy I said hi.
Tell Boogie Daddy, okay.
Yeah, tell him I said hi.
We have to give him a better nickname than that, like Papa Bug or something.
Oh, I like that, Papa Bug.
We call him Papa here. All right.
Oh, don't tell me that, girl.
Oh no. Anyway, y'all got any other tidbits before we start with these questions? Because it looked like
I know we got a couple of giveaways to do.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah. Oh, a couple. Oh, I got one.
Right, and I got one.
Okay. So, yes, we courtesy of Undead Labs, 2 TOs, we got a Steam code for State of Decay 2. Now, I don't know which version is this, but they gave us a code. So we gonna give that out, and I think LBOOGIE got something else too.
Yeah, I got an extra code for Cyberpunk. So I hope someone's ready to play it on the Xbox. And yeah, so if you saw my tweet, I said to just retweet and be following me or GWG. And yeah, I would pull a winner, and I've pulled the winner right now, and I can't believe who it is. They're gonna be super happy.
Who is it?
Say what now?
What?
Right?
Oh my God, say what now? Okay, so we're gonna have to let her know that she won this code. And for me, I'm going to tweet out. I'm sorry, not tweet out. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. And please, if you get this code, please let me, Lady Infamous 415 on Twitter, or let Grown Woman Gaming Podcast on Twitter know that you got this code. So I guess that's about it. Any other tidbits? No? Okay. CHAREECE, can you see if we have any questions today?
I think everybody's still talking about Cyberpunk.
Am I behind?
No.
The stream is a little behind. It's like a little more behind than typical, so you just gotta wait to catch up.
Okay, we gotta wait to catch up. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're looking.
Yeah. Okay.
Jazzy had a question for our guest, but I'm sorry, Jazzy. Maybe next time.
Yeah, and also we typically don't do live questions for our guests, just because a lot of times they can't answer certain things. So I mean, even our questions have to be pre-approved. So
he was awesome, y'all.
He was very knowledgeable. I feel like I could have done more technical questions with him. which probably would have been more boring to other people. But yeah,
Oh, that co-founder tidbit.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I
not
did not know
know.
that.
right.
I'm like, yo. So that's who I'm
Yeah,
interviewing
I also
now.
can't believe that lady dissed the game.
We agreed on the same thing.
Yeah.
We agreed on the same thing about he said it first. He said it first. I disagreed what he said. And if anybody plays that first one, understand what I'm coming from.
I mean, but the second one is definitely leaps and bounds better than the first. I mean, it's very.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'll give them that, because the second one was way much better than the first. Way much better than the first.
Let me see if anybody's posted any questions. Jazzy, has anyone gone back to State of Decay 2 and tried the latest changes?
I have. It's it looks good. Like, from the Series X standpoint, it looks so good. I love that you have like bounties now in your game. So while you're,
What do you mean by bounties? You have to like kill certain things?
Yeah, like my bounties were like kill 40 people with hand combat or melee or headshots, just little bounties that you can be able to get influence and items. So I like that as well. The second time around, I just took my time. If they got fatigued, I would let them rest and let the next person go and do it, and just really taking my time. But the upgrades, I'm enjoying them. I am enjoying them. I guess that's it.
Oh wait. I just like his statement. Witcher 2 and 3 were broken on console release as well. Just putting that out there, people. Just putting it out there in the universe. Christopher Hart, dude, oh my God.
I'm glad he came here after the interview, because
I know, right?
I'm glad.
Way too much energy.
I know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I don't think that we're like defending CD Projekt Red at all. Like,
Really
I think that people aren't realizing that for you with the older console, that yes, it is a bad experience right now.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
if you're not on that
Series X
console, if you're not on that console, you're having a good experience. Yes, there are some issues, but it isn't like where you can't play the game. So I'm sorry that we're having a good experience. Like, you can't tell us that we're not having a good experience here, you know. And
we having Cyberpunk party ups on the lobby.
right, like we just right. So
get done with it, I'm hopping on.
Right. Like, I gotta get me a couple hours of game time in today.
I can play Destiny with Stitch when he gets on at like a crack of midnight.
The crack of midnight. The crack of midnight.
Is that when you see the plumber's crack? Is that the same thing?
It's probably because y'all know it. That's when he get online. It's
Crack of midnight. Oh my God. You gotta use that one.
It's like this with Cyberpunk. If you feel like you need a refund for your game because you got a bad experience on that game, by all means, go get that refund. Because trust me, when me and LBOOGIE got Far Cry New Dawn and it wasn't supposed to be what it was supposed to be,
get right back.
So
give me my money back, and that's it. That's it. If you are unhappy with the experience, get your money back and then shut your mouth because you've been made whole. Okay.
I know, right? Go buy Immortals, Phoenix Rising.
Right. Buy something else. Ain't nobody telling you gotta play Cyberpunk.
I am still picking it up today, by the way. I'm picking it up today.
But
it's on your review, CHAREECE.
Yeah,
Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I have some money at GameStop. So
Jazzy again. After CD Projekt Red mentioned bonuses not being tied to Metacritic, what do you think about companies doing that? I think it's dumb. That's Jazzy. Jazzy thinks it's dumb because you know I'm sure they were going to get bonuses before this popped off.
Yeah, but their Metacritic isn't even that bad, is it right now? Like, because the last time I looked at it, it was still pretty high.
PC one is high. I think they finally started reviewing it for Xbox.
Okay, right.
And
I don't know. I think it's kind of crappy to have your bonus tied to a Metacritic score in general, because you have people that like will just spam that just because they like are assholes, you know? So I don't know. I think, you know, the number of copies sold, I guess, is something that you could use, or, you know, just shipping on a specific date, then, you know, you get a bonus. But Metacritic scores, I don't think that that's a good metric to use for bonuses.
Sure ain't with they lopsidedness.
Right. Because Metacritic doesn't even do anything to like make sure that people aren't, you know, just using bots to spam it, you know? So